Hi, I'm Joanna McCracken from Natural Health Advisory Institute, and I'm sitting here with Alexandria Crow, who's a yoga teacher at YogaWorks and MyYogaWorks, and we're going to talk a little bit about how yoga can help lower back pain. So Alex, tell me how long you've been teaching yoga for.
I've been teaching for 6 years.
And you lead teacher trainings and you lead classes online at MyYogaWorks. And how often do you run into students who have lower back pain?
All the time. It's something that is really prevalent out there, much, much more than I ever thought.
And what can yoga do to help relieve lower back pain?
If done well and under the supervision of your doctor, it can help to alleviate a lot of it. And sometimes it's not the types of poses you would think. Some of it is strength-based that can really help lower back pain. Some of it is stretching. So it's important to always work with your doctor on what it is that you have going on, why, and how to best approach it.
So what are some of the poses that you would commonly teach for general lower back pain?
For general lower back pain, if it's something it's usually from a tightness in your glutes or in your hamstrings. So stretching those, like thread the needle, lying on your back and doing Supta Padangusthasana, which is taking one leg up to the ceiling with the other one on the floor to stretch your hamstrings one at a time. That can really, really help people with just some general lower back pain. If it's something that's strength-based, using your inner thighs, hugging a block between your legs, that can really help as well.
And what are some things that people should be aware of or cautious of when starting yoga practice if they've never done yoga before and they have lower back pain?
That you should never make it hurt. It shouldn't hurt when you're doing it. It should be something that doesn't activate any of the pain in your back. It could be uncomfortable in a stretchy way if you have some tightness, but it shouldn't be painful. And it definitely shouldn't hurt it worse the next day or hours later. So it takes a lot of mindfulness and paying attention to what works and to not pushing into the pain in any way.
Thank you so much, Alex. Stay tuned, and Alex is going to lead me through a short sequence of poses that can help alleviate lower back pain.
So I'm here with Joanna, and we're going to do a couple of poses that can really help with just general lower back pain. So it can come from some glute tightness in your glute muscles, and some tightness in your hamstrings. So we're going to kind of deal with both of those. The first pose that you're going to do is simply bending your knees with your feet on the floor, and you're going to pull your right leg into your chest, wrap your hands around the back of your thigh. And when you pull it in like this, it's important to keep the back of your pelvis flat on the floor so that you're folding from your hip. And then your chest is going to stay wide. And then flex your right ankle just so your heel is right underneath your second toe and in line with your knee. And then that's going to stay the same. The whole base of the pose is going to stay the same. You're just going to start to straighten your right leg out until you feel the back of your leg stretch. And depending on your flexibility, it might straighten a little bit, it might straighten a lot. It shouldn't hurt your lower back though. It should just feel like you're stretching your hamstring out. All the while, without letting your legs move in any closer to one another, hug your hips together. And you'll just take a few breaths there. And as you lie there, you might be able to straighten your knee a little further and a little further as you go. So tight hamstrings can pull on your lower back, which just causes a ton of discomfort. And if you let it go long term, it can wreak havoc. So stretching your hamstrings out can really help. And then you just bend your right knee, put that foot on the floor, and you'll do the other side. So grab your left thigh, pull it in, keep the whole back of your pelvis flat on the ground, flex your left ankle, and then start to straighten your knee a little bit at a time. Your hamstrings are different from side to side. One will probably be tighter than the other. You want to go towards evening them out. That can help. The symmetry can help your back as well. So even if this leg is incredibly flexible and the other one isn't, try to only go to the same place on the more flexible side that the stiff side was able to go. And then as you lie there, just hugging your hips together still so that you're supporting your pelvis and your lower back as you stretch. And then you'll bend that knee, put that foot back on the floor. And then stretching your glutes out is another thing that can really help. So you're going to cross your knees over top of one another all the way and then hug that right into your chest. And you can hug your shins. If you can't grab your shins, you can hug the backs of your legs like you were just doing. If this is already stretching your glutes, you're welcome to stay here. If it's not quite stretching yet, you can flex your ankles all the way, grab hold of your shins just above your ankles, and then start to move your feet out towards the sides of your mat and up towards your shoulders at the same time until you find a stretch in your glutes. So a lot of the time, there's some inner thigh stretching that you can do, but I've found that with people with lower back pain, it tends to be their inner thighs are overly flexible, and that's something you don't want either. So this is a way to stretch your glutes without stretching your inner thighs. And then you'll spin your feet back and cross the other way. And then whatever you did on the other side, whether it was grabbing your legs or grabbing your shins, you do that here. And then always just breathing and really paying attention to if this feels like it's good pain, helpful opening, helpful work, or if it's injurious pain, if it's activating your back pain, then it's not worth doing. So it takes really paying attention to know if you're doing good. And then you can undo that. And that's that. And just repeating those simple things over time will open the backs of your legs and your glutes up enough that hopefully it'll alleviate some of your lower back pain. Doing that after you've been sitting especially can be really helpful. So here's to hopefully no more pain.